Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wind and Thunder Gaming. This is my Week 5 post-analysis. Game 1, we have Corvus versus Dover on Battle of the Dunes. Battle on the Dunes. Thank you to Cordiat, occasionally effective, for supplying me with these VODs so I can critique the play. Okay, so Dover versus Corvus. Very worthy matchup. But then we were all told Dover is an experimental team, whatever that means. I came into this game, I'm like, I'm not going to shit on them for trying something new. It's something that needs to happen so the meta can develop and we just don't end up with sniper games when we reach the higher level COGs. So I like innovation. I want someone to flip the meta that isn't Muse. Because we all know that's going to happen in 1.1.5. That's a given. The mine launcher is going to come in and they're just going to screw everything like they have the past patch. So here we go. This is just after the first engagement, I believe, when Corvus strutted their mid-range sniping build. They had a Hwacha lumberjack, Phoebe's on the lumberjack, so that put a lot of stress on them right from the get-go. And the Spire got hit hard, very hard. Half health before they made it behind the scrap, and that was like 30 seconds after they spawned. So right from the get-go you can tell this build's already shitting itself. You have now we're gonna pull out some statistic time for this build. Here we have guns, their range, their damage, their AoE, and their ammo. This is base. This is without any different rounds affecting what the gun does. So here we have the Artemis light rocket launcher is what they chose to bring. And down here, something's blocking it. Okay, so here we have the Mercury field gun. So what Dover is trying to accomplish with the Artemis is to disable with it. They want to utilize this shatter damage. But they can't get within the effective range of 1700 because then they come in, well, they don't quite come in range of the Hwacha, but they're definitely in range of that lumberjack. Pretty much in range of that lumberjack wherever you are, so they can't peek out and try and use that Artemis. And even if they did, they would want to take the Mercury cannon anyway because its range is double and it's slightly more accurate. And it does double the shatter, so there's no reason they should take the Artemis. It's not worth it at all. The Mercury gun's better for what you're using it for. The AoE is a bit lower, but if you're aiming for one big gun on the side of a galleon, just take the Merc cannon. Next up we have the Spires. Let's see if we can get a picture of the Spire here. We have the Spires flak gun, like heavy flak and Merc cannon loadout. They're trying to peek out here and they got sent right back. Get rid of this for now. So they try and peek out, they're trying to test the waters, but then they realize, well, shit, they're just putting down way too much DPS for us to handle. So then they retreat back. So we have these, once again, we have the Typhoon heavy flak cannon here, which has a range of 1000 without any ammo types screwing with it. We have the Manticore with 1200. So already the Hwatch is outranging their only heavy gun and like the only thing that can do damage to the enemy team because the Quackbar can't get close enough to make the flak gat effective. And so it's really just a trophy duck that needs to poke and prod, but can't put down enough DPS. And even if they do get in range to put down that DPS, they're already within range of the Hwacha. Don't think the Hwacha would be using any like Lesmok, because even though it does increase range, it's gonna decrease accuracy. That's why you're gonna use heavy if you're trying to hit farther targets. So they were kind of doomed from the get-go, as they soon trundled this game to figure out. Was that the dog? Alright. I thought it was something coming from my computer, just making sure. So yeah, again, the trophy duck taking a lot of hits. I'm gonna skip into this. Eventually, they go behind, hiding, and they decide to go around. They are in this general area inside the scrap. They decide to go around this way. They're camping around here. That's where Corvus is. And that goes terribly because they wait for Quackbar to come around the corner. They don't even shoot at him. It's amazing. They just ignore him and then like focus down the duck. God, so much cluttered space with the cameras. It's hard to get a wide angle camera view, especially within how much room they provided themselves. So a lot of the times they were just blocking ship combat. I don't find it really distracting to have webcams there, but the movement kind of threw me off. Yeah, detracted from the action. So yeah, Quackbar got 2v1'd, which is what will happen every time you try and approach this wall. So they can't snipe from the back because they don't put down enough DPS with a one flak spire, so they can't do that. They can't stay far away. And they can't approach it because then they just focus down the spire and then they focus down the junker. So this build is just not working at all for them. And it led to their eventual defeat. I think that by the end of it, the spire was 4 of the 5 kills. There's not much they can do about it. Like if they're out in the open, you have to run. Like I said, this build was just pooched from the very beginning. So yeah, that concludes our first part. Nice win by Corvus, swiftly showing Dover how the meta works and why the meta is there. But I applaud Dover for trying to shake things up, trying to bring something new to the table, even though it did prove very ineffectual. So I'm going to change my overlays and get the second game ready. Okay, so here we have match 2. It's the Brood versus the Gentleman. I was in this, so expect strong bias. Just kidding. I'll tear myself apart just as much as I tear the enemy apart. Although, it was just prim brawling, so not a whole lot to critique. Prim brawling is fun. It's very fun. So, I was rolling dual mercs on the sides. He was rolling Carronade Flare. He being Jace Booyah, pilot of the Duckface. There's my awesome crew. 2 last-minute duck replacements because they're ballers. Skipping in, we got Gat, Flak, Flare. So Gat, Flare side. Here we go, first big engagement. What happened here? I'm going to assume miscommunication because I think I'm firing at Ptolemaeus. Duckface is firing at Ewong. Duckface got his tits focused off. Look at that. Damage out the ass. But he dekes them so hard here. He dekes them so hard. Me following slowly. I think I was spending a little bit of the initial time there turning. Watch these beautiful dekes. Jace, I love you for this. From this angle, I can tell you right now. Okay. So, flat gap prims have a wider down arc. Like, they can shoot down past their bow. If you're looking from the captain spot, you can shoot underneath this area. So, you can shoot targets about that angle. Whereas, you can only shoot targets to about that angle. So, it's always a better choice to try and deke firing arc by going over, not under. Pro tip of the day. As Duckface demonstrates, they need to turn their ass around. Me, I'm trying to focus Ewong, just trying to poke and prod, hope that they give up on Duckface. That did not happen much as they both started attacking, but by this time I was making some leeway on killing the Ewong. So that was good. Jace pops, Ewong pops. And then prim brawling. I was at a bit of an armor disadvantage. Now I'm not. Wait, no, I still am. My balloon went down. I wonder if they flare shotted that. If so, that's amazing. I did bring drogue. Probably shouldn't have, in hindsight. They had nothing to kill my balloon, really. So probably should have just left that. Prim brawling. You'll see the Yuwang uses moonshine, which I probably should have brought. I know Jace told one of his engineers to bring moonshine so he could hop on if he needed to get back into the fight. I'm trying to deke, throw up some hydrogen again. You see that firing arc there, just missing. Getting followed by the Yuwang. Duckface going after the Ptolemaeus, which is who I was focusing in the beginning, so it's probably the best choice. We end up getting focused down pretty adamantly. I have no idea what word I'm looking for right now, but we could have avoided this and then been up well, not up a kill, but up a death. We'd have leeway in that category. Yeah. Here, at this point, I give up. I'm like, just don't meet grind, we'll regroup. I'm poached. I don't want to try and engage and lose you again. I know. Which is what we should have done from the beginning. I should have probably just sacrificed my ship and regrouped. So at this point, I just realized I'm still in battle on the dunes for my map. So here we go. We're actually on this map. Right there. Okay. Didn't matter because we weren't really talking about the map till then. I spawn here. Jace spawns here. And we end up going behind this arc. And then, gentlemen, end up trying to come around. But it was too staggered of an entry. One entered before the other could start firing. So we ended up focusing them down pretty quickly, which got us back in very good condition. We were all shaking at that point, I can tell you that much. This is what I mean by staggered entry. Yuwang's not firing yet, can't even see us. Too far behind that corner. Ptolemaeus gets focused down quick. Then we follow it up with a kill. Another kill of his teammate. Back. I could not have asked for a better ram there. Completely turned all his guns away from us. And at this point, it was even. It was perfectly even. None of our permahull was damaged. None of the gentleman's permahull was damaged because they were just respawning. So we were perfectly zen here. We were like, okay, we got a chance. So then the gentlemen spawn in these general vicinities, and they end up going around the back arcway, and we end up camping in this corner. Or it might be farther to the right. I don't know. It's kind of hard from the top-down view. But yeah, they try approaching from there. We end up sniping at them. So then they end up trundling around this way, and the final engagement happens here. I feel like John Madden every time I get to use the map. I love it. Yeah, okay, so this is just dead space. Okay, so here we go. They come around the corner. And the Mufasa, ends up hitting the Ptolemaeus pretty hard here. We end up taking one of his engines and scratching his armor pretty decent. So if they kept facing that head on, we would have had him. But they're the gentlemen. They're smarter than that. They know that. So they just booked it, ran. Probably the best thing they could have done in that situation. Now here's where my friend's flare comes in real handy. Lights them up so we can see them as they're retreating. Ptolemaeus shook that spot. Yuwang shook his spot. Boom, both spotted. Instantaneously of that flare being thrown out there. Love it. So again, this arc acts as a really nice choke because if you don't approach it at the right angle, you're gonna have staggered entry. So one will start engaging before the other teammate can catch up, and if these two people turn around like they do, they can focus the target down before the other one even gets there. That's what we did to them when they came around the corner. Now it's what they're doing to us. So Duckface kind of struggling. here we exchanged targets. He started retreating because he was taking a lot of damage. I went just underneath him. I was holding S, praying I wasn't going to get a really shit bounce off of him. So I started focusing the Yuwang. He was focusing the Yuwang, and he kept on Yuwang like a heat seeker, even though Ptolemaeus was up his ass the entire time. So eventually we get the Yuwang to go down. He's trying to hydrogen, break that firing arc. Doesn't quite get it off. Now here's where Jace could have done a little bit better. Could have just started retreating, try and get underneath him, just keep up a little bit of DPS, wait for me to get up and turn around. But that's an extraneous detail. It was very heat of the moment, so I don't blame him for continuing there. And watch this DPS spike here. You can tell that the gunners know what they're doing because they waited to shoot flak until his armor was down. So boom, boom, they're gone. They're very good with their gun timings, I can tell you that much. Let's play with this again. Right there. Okay, here we go. We got Gatling gun, if I can find it. Does shatter damage, which actually no, sorry, piercing damage, which damages your armor. So that strips armor. You want to save your light flak. You want to save your explosive damage for the hull. That's a big chunk on hull. I think you can like 4-shot a hull if you time it properly with a flak. So it does some pretty serious damage there. We ended up rolling a gunner. I don't know if that was a good idea or not. I would have liked to have an engineer that I could have thrown on hull just to keep us alive for that end engagement. But hindsight's 2020. So me and the Ptolemaeus start brawling. It's pretty freaking even. He gets a bit of an edge on me, as you will see in a moment. See, he's timing those flak shots. Damn near 4 shots my ship because he waited. We finally, there, Ptolemaeus getting scratched just about as hard. And as soon as we broke engagements, look how quick our hulls went up, or our armors rather. Broke engagement, hulls at like full for both of us. Now here's where I could have done something to help us. I could have just gone around and tried to kite, but I did not know the Yuwang was fucking heat-seeking, missiling me. Look at this, look at this. It just came from spawn, heat-seeked me. Focused my ass down. I could have just trundled around that corner and prayed, but hindsight's 2020. 4-5. No regrets. It's a great game. We did a lot better than we thought we were going to do. We were expecting like a 5-0 sniper match and just been like, ah, well, shit. But the gentleman gave us a fight, and it was a good one at that. So I'll fix my overlays and go to the next game. Welcome to part 3, and before you ask, yes, I did change the map before I started this recording. So we got Polaris up against the paddling. Alright, I'm gonna do this right here. Ready? Polaris company managing to get into the Challenger's COG. If they take a Spire into the Challenger's COG, they will lose. Now that I'm done being a smug son of a bitch, let's watch them lose because they took Spires. I'm surprised they even managed to scratch the perma-hull of the Lucky Duck. That surprises me. Look how squishy the Spire is. It's like they did this to spite me. I said if they take a Spire, they'll lose. They're like, fuck you, we'll take 2. And then they lost. Doubly as hard. I don't know what to say. Don't take Spires. It's a bad idea. Especially against sniping builds. You're gonna lose so hard. So hard. I can tell you with 100% accuracy that Spires were 100% of the deaths in this game. Don't. Just, you make this painful for me to observe. You sneaky Russian bastards. Yeah, this is the definition of a slaughter. At least the other ones like tried to toss it up a bit. This is like you weren't even trying. Like taking 2 spires, you can pray to God you will outmaneuver them, but it's just not going to happen because their gunners are so good. This, and they're not really taking their engagements too well. They're going in individually. Just a lot of bad plays from Polaris, proving that they're not really worthy of challenging the top COG. Watcher's chance. I believe that's nope, that's a Carronade Spire. Especially not a Carronade Spire. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yes, I realize this analysis at this point has just devolved into me yelling. But seriously, 2 spires, you can't expect that to do anything against a Galleon and a Pyramidion. They're just too tanky. They'll put you down faster than you can say. What just happened? Holy fuck, they ended up getting a kill? What? That's pretty amusing, I'm not gonna lie. Polaris pulled a kill out of their ass faster than paddling could say raspberries. Or just as fast as paddling could say raspberries. My friend joined me in on this commentary. A little bit distracting, but you know what? It's fine. Oh, don't take spires, Polaris. You might get away with that shit in like the early COGs, early 5 spots, but no way it's gonna happen. Look, okay, you paying attention? I got something important to show you on the map. We had a lot of deaths here from Polaris because they took Spire, and they had like a couple deaths here. And I can't remember if one died in this general area or not, but yeah, that's it. How they managed to kill a Pyramidion with 2 spires, there's something to be said for that. Like, damn, good job, you didn't get 5-0'd with 2 spires. It wasn't even that, they kept rushing in. Not guerrilla tactics. Guerrilla tactics! This is the COGs as it stands, and I heard you guys like webcams, and I didn't want to miss out on the party, so I got my green screen. And my green screen holding person. Slave. And, okay, so let's just run through this really quick, because I don't want the poor son of a bitch holding the green screen to get tired. Get going. We got Musosaurus versus BFS. Musosaurus did a good showing in the 3v3 that we had versus the casters. So, provided BFS is fairly newbie and they try to do something crazy like the Dover, Muse might actually have a chance. I know Muse can show up now that I saw them play against us. MNS versus Corvus. I think we've seen this end with dual Hwacha Galleon and a lot of death. So that should be an interesting matchup. Corvus is now at full power, however. They weren't the last time they went up against MNS, so they have a chance. And we'll see what they do with that, whether they squander it or whether they make use of it. And the Titans are battling again. Paddling versus the Gentleman. Bound to be another sniping match, and if it isn't, Gentleman might actually end up taking dual flat gap prims like they did against us. Maybe that was just a situational thing that they did with us, but if they do end up taking dual flat gap, maybe they'll do something interesting with it. Try and bring down the Galleon and whatnot. So yes, I think we can expect a 5-2 here. Uh, I want to say 5-2 there, 5-2 there, 5-2 everywhere. These are going to be fairly long matches. Well, at least the paddling and gentlemen will be. M&S and Corvus usually tends to go fast because I like their close range stuff. Yeah, that's it. See you guys next week. Peace.